Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report about a company trying to merge with an online gun store. It's like mixing oil and water, or maybe in this case gunpowder and, well, paperwork. If you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come join us. This report, called an 8K, is a quick update for investors about important events. In this case, Colombier Accession Corp, which is basically a company that exists to merge with another company, is trying to merge with Metroplex Trading Company, which operates GrabAGun.com. The big news is that they scheduled a shareholder meeting to vote on this deal. Let's get into the details. First up, this is a Form 8K, which is a current report. These are filed when significant events happen that investors need to know about quickly. The date of the report, June 20, 2025, is also the date of the earliest event reported. So all of this information is very fresh. The company involved is Colombier Accession Corp, based in the Cayman Islands. The main event here is that Colombier 2 has set a date for a shareholder meeting. This meeting is where shareholders get to vote on whether or not to approve the merger with GrabAGun. The meeting will be on July 15, 2025, and only shareholders who owned Colombier 2 stock as of June 20th, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2025 get to vote. They'll be holding it online, but you could also attend in person in New York City if that's your thing. To make sure everyone has all the info, Colombier 2 has prepared a proxy statement, which is like a detailed instruction manual for the vote. It explains everything you need to know about the deal and how to cast your vote. You can find copies of this proxy statement and another document called the registration statement on the SEC's website, which is sec.gov. Colombier 2 also put out a press release announcing that the registration statement is now active and that the shareholder meeting is happening soon. This is basically just a public announcement to make sure everyone knows what's going on. This press release is attached as an exhibit to the report. Now here comes the part where they remind everyone that they're not fortune tellers. This section is called forward-looking statements, and it's basically a disclaimer saying that anything they say about the future might not actually happen. These statements include expectations about how great the merger will be, GrabAGun's plans for growth and the financial benefits of the deal, but they also warn that lots of things could go wrong. They list a whole bunch of risks like the deal falling apart, problems getting the necessary licenses to sell firearms, changes in the market, and even potential lawsuits. In short, they're saying, we hope this all works out, but don't blame us if it doesn't. Given the current climate around firearms, this definitely makes sense. There is a lot of uncertainty and potential changes in law that could create massive headwinds. Next, there's an important information section that tells you where to find all the official documents about the deal. They want you to read the proxy statement because it has all the important details about Colombier 2, GrabAGun, and the merger. Again, they emphasize that you can get these documents for free on the SEC's website. Then there's a participants in the solicitation section. This is where they list all the people who are involved in trying to convince shareholders to vote for the deal, like the directors and executive officers of Colombier 2 and GrabAGun. If you want to know who's who and who owns what, this is where you'd look. They wrap things up with a disclaimer saying that this report isn't trying to sell anything or get you to vote a certain way. It's just providing information. They also say that if they do offer any securities or stocks, it will only be through a proper prospectus, which is a legal document that explains all the details of the investment. Lastly, there's a list of exhibits, which are documents attached to the report, such as the press release we mentioned earlier. There's also something called an interactive data file, which is basically a way for computers to read the report's data. So what's the big picture here? Colombier 2 wants to merge with GrabAGun, and they are taking the necessary steps to get shareholder approval. However, there are plenty of risks involved. From regulatory hurdles to market changes to potential lawsuits, the companies are trying to do everything by the book, making sure investors have access to all the information they need to make an informed decision. In terms of numbers from an investor perspective, this is an all or nothing play. If the merger succeeds and they find the right market fit, they could make good returns due to how small the company is. On the other hand, if they miss a critical piece of regulation or lose permits, they could go to zero with ease. Now, looking at these results more broadly, the success of this deal hinges heavily on regulatory factors and market acceptance of firearm-related businesses. Colombier 2's future is entirely tied to this merger, making it a high-risk, high-reward scenario for investors. Alright, that's our breakdown of this SEC filing. What's your take on this deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.